Hey guys, welcome back to another terrifying story from Scaries of the world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We explore real legends, strange disappearances, and ancient curses from around the globe. And trust me, you don't want to miss what we have for you tonight. Now, have you ever heard a sound so out of place that your body just froze? Like a bell ringing in the middle of a forest? At midnight, with no church in sight. Tonight's story comes from the freezing forests of rural Russia. It's about a man who followed a sound he shouldn't have, and something that followed him back. This one's called The Church That Rang Itself at Midnight. Let's begin. Asterisk, my name is Maxim, and for most of my life, I didn't believe in anything. No ghosts, no God, no curses. Just cold logic and hard facts. I was born in Moscow, but raised by my grandparents in a quiet northern village. One of those towns where the snow never melts and the sky always feels gray. I left when I was 18 and promised I'd never go back. But when my grandfather died, I didn't have a choice. He left me the house and the responsibility to take care of my grandmother. Just for a few months, I told myself, then I'd be gone again. But strange things started almost as soon as I returned. It began with a sound, a bell, faint, distant, but clear. It rang for exactly 3 seconds every night. At midnight, I checked my phone. 11:59. Then, dong, dong. There was no church nearby. The nearest one had collapsed during the war, and even then, it didn't have a bell. At first, I thought it was wind, or maybe the old iron weather vane twisting on someone's barn. But it rang too perfectly, too deliberately, and then I noticed something worse. The sound was getting closer each night. By the 5th night, it wasn't faint anymore. It sounded like it was just beyond the woods behind the house. I stood at the back porch with my coat on. My breath made clouds in the air, and when the bell rang that night, I swear I felt it in my chest, like it echoed inside my ribs. I should have left it alone, but curiosity is a dangerous thing, especially when you don't believe in anything. So I grabbed my flashlight and went into the woods. The snow was knee-deep. My boots crunched through layers of ice and frozen leaves. There were no paths, only tall pines and crooked birch trees. I kept walking toward the direction of the sound. It rang again. Dong, dong, dong. Clearer, louder, closer. I don't know how long I walked. Time felt broken out there. I didn't feel cold anymore. I didn't feel much of anything. Then I saw it through the trees. A steeple dotted rose like a black finger into the fog, half covered in vines and snow. The wood was old and warped. The roof sagged inward, and yet the bell was there. Hanging, swaying, ringing, but no rope moved it. No wind touched it. I stood there, staring. My flashlight flickered, then it died. The bell rang again, and something inside the church moved. I turned and ran. Branches slapped my face. My legs sank into snowbanks. I didn't care. I didn't stop. Not until I saw the porch light of my grandfather's house. I slammed the door shut behind me. I didn't sleep that night. I just watched the window, waiting to see if anything followed me. The next day, I asked my grandmother about the forest, about the church. She went quiet. Her hands trembled as she poured tea. Then she said just one word, kolokolnya. I didn't know the word. It means the bell tower. But in our village, it meant something worse. She told me it was once a monastery. During the war, the monks were accused of hiding enemies. The soldiers came. They locked the doors and set the church on fire. None of the monks survived. But the bell, it kept ringing for days, even as ash fell like snow. Even as the tower crumbled, the villagers stopped going near it. Even when the war ended, even when the forest swallowed the ruins, they said those who heard the bell at night would be called to it, and if they entered the woods, something would follow them back. I didn't believe her. Not really. Not until the dream started. I would wake up cold, sweating, with the sound of bells still ringing in my ears. I dreamed of fire, of faces behind blackened windows, of something watching me from the trees. Each night, the dreams got worse, and each morning I found something strange. Wet footprints on the porch, even when there was no snow. Scratches on the doorframe, like something tall had stood there. Waiting. One morning, I found my grandmother outside, staring at the woods, muttering prayers. She was holding something, a bundle of rags tied with strings. She told me it was for protection, an old Orthodox talisman. "Don't go back," she whispered. "No matter what you hear." That night, I locked every door and window. I wore the talisman around my neck, and still, the bell rang. And this time, it didn't stop. It rang once, then again, and again, over and over. Dong, 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 louder, faster, like it was getting angry. The walls shook, the glass rattled, and then the lights went out. I stood frozen in the hallway, holding a flashlight that barely worked, and then a knock at the back door. 3 knocks, slow, heavy. I didn't move. I couldn't. Then the knocking moved. 2. The window, to the front door. To the attic? Yes, the attic. I remembered what my grandfather said once, that the attic door was nailed shut for a reason, that it hadn't been opened in decades. But that night, I heard it creak. And then I heard footsteps above me. I called the police. I don't know why. Habit, maybe. They came. They searched. They found nothing. No signs of forced entry. No footprints in the snow. No animals nearby. Nothing. They said I was probably sleepwalking. Maybe it was grief. Maybe stress. I knew better. The next morning, my grandmother was gone. Her boots were missing. The back door was wide open, and outside one long trail of footprints, leading straight into the woods. I followed them, all the way to the place I hoped I'd never see again, the church. Only now, it wasn't in ruins. The walls were whole, the steeple stood tall, and the bell was ringing. The front doors opened by themselves. I stepped inside. It was full of people, or things that looked like people, dressed in black robes, faces hidden, but their heads turned as I entered. And in the front, at the altar, my grandmother. She was kneeling, hands folded, eyes closed. I tried to scream her name, but no sound came out, only the bell, ringing faster, harder. The robed figures began to chant, low, haunting. The floor beneath me started to crack. Fire, smoke, ash, then darkness. I woke up in my bed, sweating, heart pounding. No signs of snow, no footprints. Number, grandmother. No bell. The house was silent, too silent. I searched for her. I called the police again. They searched the woods. They found nothing. Just one thing, a church bell, lying in the snow, with my name carved into it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that story, make sure to hit the like button and share it with someone who loves creepy tales. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more real legends and horror stories from around the world. Have you ever heard of a place that calls people by name? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, don't answer the sound that wasn't meant for you. And don't follow the bells. They might follow you back.